Welcome to what I learned from Casey Neistat's filmmaking class, part 2. So I finished my second... What's up? It's just that opening the video this way makes it seem like we didn't actually learn anything. Like, we need to show them what we learned, not just tell them. So let me try something. Yeah, all right. Hi. Let's go somewhere more interesting and get started. Okay, that's better. So the most important thing that I learned from taking Casey's class was the importance of shot variety. But what about the importance of story? How can shot variety matter if you have a shit story? Yes, absolutely. But I didn't take Casey's class to learn about the importance of story. I took it to learn how he tells stories, and more importantly, how he shows stories. And shot variety is important for 3 main reasons. The main reason shot variety is important is because it keeps the video interesting for the viewer by giving them different things to look at. And then shot variety is a good way to make sure that you're taking full advantage of the visuals to tell the story, and more importantly, to show the story as much as possible. And then shot variety can be really helpful from an editing perspective because it gives you more options to cut to maintain the momentum of the story and the energy of the video. In the second half of the class, Casey shows how he uses shot variety in his videos, and one of my favorite examples is when he's fixing the security camera in his New York studio. He shows how he recreates the same actions but from different angles, and so he would move the camera and redo a shot all over again from that new perspective. He'd also switch up the focal lengths so that he'd be able to cut between a wide shot and a close-up. When it was time for me to work on my second video for the class, I really wanted to focus on shot variety, and I needed to because the video is about me coming to grips with becoming a longboarder and getting older. It was going to be very voiceover heavy, and it was going to have sequences like me removing the wax from my longboard because I thought that would be a way to symbolize out with the old me and, me getting used to who I am now. What I ended up doing was switching between a 35mm lens and an 85mm lens so that I could have some wider shots and some really close-up shots. I also used a regular tripod, but then a tabletop tripod so that I could have different heights from shots. And actually on that note, I also attached my phone to a beam in the garage so that I could have some overhead shots too. And then I just tried to change up the angles as much as possible as I was shooting, which meant I took like 2 to 3 hours to remove the wax from the board. Normally it takes 20 to 30 minutes, but I wanted to get as many angles as I could without repeating shots. So that's what I learned from the second half of Casey's class. Shoot more than you think you'll need from as many interesting angles as you can think of so that you give yourself all of the options in the edit to make the most compelling video possible. And on that note, here's my video. Enjoy. I used to surf so much. I'd be in the water 6-7 days a week, sometimes multiple times a day. And now if I get in the water, once or twice a month, that's a pretty good month. And that's pretty lame, honestly. So a couple years ago, I bought a longboard. The idea was it would make it easier for me to be in the water, but it was not an easy purchase to make. Growing up, I looked at longboarders as being people who couldn't surf. Either they were beginners just trying to get the hang of it, or old-timers who couldn't really hang anymore but were trying to hang on. So getting a longboard myself was one of the first times I felt like I was getting old, like I was trying to hang on to who I used to be. I'll be turning 35 soon. That's not old, but it's not that young either. It's somewhere between. I'm in that middle third of my life now, and I've been trying to come to grips with it. Learning how to adjust, learning that the best adjustment I can make is probably just accepting that I'm aging and going with it. Surfing's helping me with that. I go out when I can, and I go out to enjoy being outside and being in the water as much as to get some waves. I'd like to get some waves, good ones if I can, but that isn't up to me. And if I'm being honest with myself, and I'm trying to be more honest with myself these days, it never really was. Even when I could time my time in the water to the conditions, I couldn't control whether the winds would shift on shore, or there would be long walls between sets, or the lineup would be packed with other people. Surfing's teaching me to let go. Just like I can't control the conditions in the water, I can't fully control the conditions that keep me out of the water. I have to accept the things I can't control and embrace the things that I can control. I can't control whether the waves will be so small and sloppy that I'll struggle to catch one with enough power to hold me up and move me along. Just like I can't control whether one day I'll lose my hair, or whether one day I'll have to move away from the waves to afford a better life for my family. I can't control how much time I get in the water, but I can control how I spend that time, however much time that may be.